The time is 12 o'clock, and here's the Midday news. First, the top stories. Ogun, other southwest state indicted over UBEC intervention fund. Obiano says Anambra battle ready to resist planned polls disruption. President Buhari resumes duty, operate from home in the villa. Special courts to handle hate speeches, terrorism, and kidnapping underway. Americans watch total solar eclipse. Chile court relaxes total ban on abortion. I am Tobi Joseph, bringing you the news in details shortly. Ogun and five other states in the southwest region have been indicted by the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC) for failing to pay their matching funds to access the UBEC fund for the 2015 and 16 academic year. The agency Director General, Professor Amid Boboye, addressing newsmen in Abuja, expressed the concern over development, said that Southwest region tops the list of 6 geopolitical zones in the country which fails to access the UBEC fund. Boboye says that Ogun State, along with Enugu, Ondo, Oyo, and Ebonyi State, had not made any significant contribution to marching grants since 2013 to access UBEC fund. In 2016, Boboye says none of the states in the Southwest region accessed the UBEC fund, therefore having 8.9 billion naira in the fund, against Southeast 7.8 billion naira, South-South 5.3 billion naira, North Central's 8.2 billion naira, Northwest 2.1 billion naira, and Northeast 3.4 billion naira. 4 cattle rustlers who have been terrorizing residents of Ofada in Ogun State are now in police net. The suspects were arrested by the police last Saturday in a bid to carry out a fresh attack in the area. Spokesman of Ogun State Police Command, Abimbola Oyemi, named the suspect as Madu Obudu, Oyeka Okafo, Francis Oyeka, and Hafiz Mustafa. The suspect, according to Oyemi, earlier last week, allegedly attacked 2 cattle dealers in the area, Mohammed Ruga and Babuga, beat them, tied their legs and hands before stealing 2 of their cattle. While in detention, Oyemi says the suspect allegedly confessed they were responsible for the hijack of several trucks loaded with cement in part of the state. The police, according to him, have launched a manhunt for the suspected receiver of the cement and the hijacked trucks. The police spokesman listed items recovered from the suspect as including 3 cutlasses, an iron rod, chains, jackknife, mobile phones, and an unregistered motorcycle. Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State has asked people in the state to be battle ready to face troublemakers seeking to disrupt the November 18 governorship poll in the state. Obiano, speaking in Oka, says intelligence reports indicate that those threatening to disrupt the poll are not indigenous of the state, adding that his administration will not allow them to invade the state to cause trouble. Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, led by Nnamdi Kanu, have repeatedly threatened to stop the poll to test the strength of pro-Biafra forces in the southeast region. The governor, however, asked people in the state to ignore the threat and sleep with their eyes closed. Meanwhile, IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu, addressing a rally at the weekend, says the polls of boycott will be enforced by the organization. Chairman of the PDP National Caretaker Committee, Senator Ahmed McCarthy, says process is ongoing to woo back former top party leaders who quit the party back to the fold. McCarthy says those being targeted include former President Olusegun Obasanjo, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Senate President Bukola Saraki, and other PDP leaders who defected to the APC. McCarthy will make this known while answering questions from newsmen in Kaduna, says the reconciliation and discipline committees given the task of bringing them back to the PDP are making progress. He confirmed that PDP still retains the 2019 presidential tickets to the north and the national chairmanship to the south. President Muhammadu Buhari has resumed duty 2 days after returning from a medical vacation in London. Buhari, however, is operating from his residence within the presidential villa Abuja instead of his office in the villa. Earlier on Monday, the president sent a letter to the National Assembly notifying it of his return from London that he is resuming office. Buhari, while leaving for London last May 7, notified the National Assembly that he had transferred powers to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as acting president. Both the federal and state governments have agreed to set up special courts to handle hate speeches. The court will also handle cases of kidnapping and terrorism. The proposed special court was agreed upon at a retreat on national security at the presidential villa in Abuja. Acting President top media aide Laolu Akonde says the decision is one of the points in the communique issued at the end of the retreat. The federal government, according to the communique, will assist the state government in setting up the template and establishment of the proposed court. National Judicial Commission (NJC) has rejected the rating of the National Bureau of Statistics that judges are the second most corrupt in Nigeria's public officers. The council, in a statement, regards the report as business and true, subjective, and speculative. It doubts the criteria used to measure the level of bribes taken in rating judges as the second most corrupt public officers. The Judicial Council also raises question on the percentage of judges courts taking bribes out of the 159 judges in federal and state courts. The presidency has approved the extension of whistleblowing policy to human trafficking. Justice Minister Boubacar Malami forwarded approval of the policy to the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons for implementation. Under the policy, people will have verifiable information on human trafficking, including assets of the traffickers, are to forward them to the agency. The agency's Director General, Mrs. Judy Okadori, says the assets of convicted human traffickers will be forfeited to the federal government after due legal process. She explained that the policy will encourage people to provide information on the assets of people engaging in human trafficking in the country. You're still listening to the Midday News on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business, and sport news. Please do stay with us. A total solar eclipse has wowed the United States. A huge shadow cast by the moon as it passed in front of the sun swept across the nation from Oregon in the west to South Carolina in the east. Millions of people moved to get into the path of darkness, putting on their protective glasses to gaze at the sky in wonder. It was the first total solar eclipse visible from America's lower 48 states in 38 years, and the first since 1918 to track from coast to coast. Although the US had exclusive rights on totality, a partial eclipse was visible across all of North America, reaching beyond the Canadian Arctic, as well as across the north of South America, down to Bolivia. Parts of Western Europe were also set to see the moon take a chunk out of the sun at the end of the day, just before the star dipped below the horizon. The next total solar eclipse on Earth is on 2nd of July 2019 over the South Pacific, Chile, and Argentina. India's top court has ruled the practice of instant divorce in Islam unconstitutional, marking a major victory for women's rights activists. In a 3-2 majority verdict, the court called the practice un-Islamic. India is one of a handful of countries where a Muslim man can divorce his wife in minutes by saying the word talaq 3 times. The landmark court decision came in response to petitions challenging the so-called triple talaq custom filed by 5 Muslim women who have been divorced in this way and 2 rights groups. 3 of the judges called the controversial practice un-Islamic, arbitrary, and unconstitutional. One of the judges, Justice Kudian Joseph, said the practice was not an essential part of Islam and enjoyed no protection. Chief Justice J.S. Keha, in a differing opinion, said that personal law could not be touched by a constitutional court of law. A constitutional court in Chile has voted to approve a bill to ease the country's total ban on abortions. It ruled that terminations are justified after rape, if the mother's life is at risk or if the fetus is not expected to survive the pregnancy. The law was approved after 2 years debate in the Chilean Congress, who have been challenged by conservatives. Chile had been one of 7 Roman Catholic countries with an abortion ban in all circumstances. They are Chile, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Malta, the Vatican, and Dominican Republic. Chile legalized abortion for medical reasons in 1931, when it was banned totally in 1989 under General Pinochet. Under existing legislation, both a doctor or patient can face up to 5 years in prison. In the 4 years up to 2014, 73 people were jailed. In business, Nigeria's external reserves continues a steady growth, hitting $31.5 billion. The reserves level, according to data on the website of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), was attained last August 16. The reserve level was $30.28 billion and last June 30. The steady rise in reserves was largely attributed to the stoppage of militancy in the Niger Delta region, resulting in the rise of Nigeria's daily crude oil production to 2.3 million barrels. Finally, on the video news, sport news. Super Eagles and Leicester City forward Kelechi Iheanacho has returned to training after recovering from a toe injury that sidelined for the Foxes game against the weekend. His injury last week caused a doubt for his availability for the game back-to-back Russia 2018 World Cup qualifier against Cameroon in Uyo on September 1 and Yaoundé 3 days later. Iheanacho, who is expected to be named in the Nigerian squad to face Cameroon, the World Cup qualifiers game, missed the 2-0 league win over Brighton last Saturday due to a toe injury and will not feature in the League Cup fixture against Sheffield United on Tuesday. Leicester City boss Craig Shakespeare confirms that Kelechi Iheanacho has recovered from his toe injury and is back in full training with the first team squad. That was the media news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. Ogun, other southwest state, indicted over UBEC intervention fund. Obiano says Anambra battle ready to resist planned election disruption. President Buhari resumes duty, operates from home in the villa. Special courts to handle hate speeches, terrorism and kidnapping underway. Americans watch total solar eclipse. Chilean court relaxes total ban on abortion. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcitfmradio.com/live. Thank you so much for listening. I am Tobi Joseph. Good afternoon.